Angle modulation is the topic of this lecture. We have studied amplitude modulation, which is an important modulation method used in all communication system, where we know that the amplitude of carrier signal varies. And how does it vary? It varies in accordance with instantaneous value of message signal, instantaneous value of modulating signal. So in angle modulation, as angle is the important term, we know that in any modulation method, one of the attributes of carrier changes according to instantaneous value of modulating signal. Or we also can say that one of the attributes of the carrier signal changes in accordance with amplitude of message signal. So what is the attribute here? The attribute here in this method is angle. Angle, the phase angle. When you write a carrier signal cosine omega ct or cosine theta plus something or cosine theta, theta is the angle part. How that angle part is changing, how that angle component is changing is the study we'll make in this topic, that is angle modulation. Now as we can see the interesting diagrams here highlighting how does angle modulation affect the carrier signal, we can understand very clearly that see here in the beginning there is waveform having two colors, red and blue. Over red, empty is written, which is modulating signal. This is message signal. And this blue color is actually its derivative. We can easily understand how did we get it. Suppose this red color is something into sine omega t, something into sinusoid. So when you take derivative, it will become cosine term. So you can understand here when the sine term is beginning from 0 at t equal to 0. So at that particular value, cosine term will begin at some maximum possible value. So this is derivative. The blue color is derivative of modulating signal. Why we are taking derivative, you will understand. So in the first waveform, we have message signal as well as its derivative. Second signal is the carrier signal, and that too unmodulated. You can see the amplitude of carrier remains same, the frequency of carrier remains same, there is no change at all throughout the interval, throughout the duration. This is called as unmodulated carrier signal. Now look at the third one, which is very interesting, that is red color. Why it's shown in red color? See, the red color is empty, and the maximum and minimum frequency variation of carrier, that is depending on, you see here, maximum change in modulating signal and the minimum change in modulating signal. So when you find that maximum change means there is increase in modulating signal amplitude, you see here there is increase in frequency. You look at the pointer, there is increase in the frequency, the time duration has reduced, and you can see here the frequency has increased. Now look at here, the red color again modulating signal. The signal strength is decreasing now. You see here the signal strength, the modulating signal instantaneous value is decreasing. So you can compare the carrier frequency now with the original frequency in the same duration, With respect to original frequency, now this is decreasing. There is widening, in terms of time, there is widening. There is constricting, and here we have widening. Again, when the modulating signal amplitude is increasing, the frequency is increasing. When it is decreasing, again, it's decreasing. So what do we know about the definition of amplitude modulated signal? The definition of amplitude modulated signal says that amplitude of carrier changes according to amplitude of modulating signal. So in frequency modulation, frequency of carrier signal changes according to amplitude of modulating signal. In any of the modulation method, we will never change frequency of message signal. Otherwise, the content of the message signal will change. The message signal itself will change. That we will not do. So, what you can see here that in the third waveform, the carrier frequency is changing, and the change is, is observed, which is in accordance with change in modulating signal. So this is actually FM, frequency modulated wave. We can say FM wave. All right. So whenever there is a modulating signal, maximum value, frequency change, it has increased to its maximum value. Whenever it goes down, modulating signal amplitude goes down to some minimum level, the frequency is reduced at certain minimum, at particular minimum value. Now look at the fourth one, the last diagram. Very carefully, you see here that the carrier, the modulating signal, and actually the derivative, is highlighted in blue color, and this is, you see, it's the output where the carrier is responding to this one. You look at here. Now you see here there is some increase. Now there is decrease. Look at here. So when there is a decrease, there is a decrease. And when it is increasing, when the frequency is increasing, again decreasing, again decreasing. So but why we are talking about this and this, you will understand. See, when you compare with modulating signal or output corresponding to modulating signal, or the output corresponding to derivative of modulating signal, you can see there is delay, there is shifting in the waveform. Frequency change can easily be seen, but it has moved towards right side. It means phase of the signal has also changed. When you compare with this one, the phase of the signal has changed. Remember, so when the carrier attribute is changing in accordance with instantaneous value of modulating signal, it's FM, and when there is a change that is actually proportional to derivative, phase is also changing. So this is very important. Now, I mean, this you can understand in one more diagram very interestingly. See, this is a carrier. All right. If this is a message signal, see the FM, the last one first. You see here in the FM signal, you find that when the modulating signal amplitude is increasing. When it is decreasing, the frequency of carrier is decreasing. When the modulating signal is again increasing, the carrier frequency is again increasing. But look at the third one, the PM signal, phase modulated signal. See here, I mean, you can find that third and fourth waveform are similar. There is change in frequency, of course. There will be change in frequency because it's the basic nature when the modulating signal changes or even derivative changes. So actually this third waveform is the response to the change in derivative of this modulating signal. Why I am saying this? It is because of it does not follow exactly the third one. So how does it change? It is changing, but you can see here the phase is also changing. Look at here. The phase is also changing. Here it is starting, then somewhere from somewhere else it is starting. So there has been change in phase as well. There is of course frequency change, but the phase is also changing. So it's very difficult sometimes to differentiate whether the phase or frequency are changing, because we know that there is strong correlation between phase and frequency. We know that omega is equal to d pi by dt, where omega is angular frequency, which we can also write as 2 pi f. F is the ordinary frequency, and omega is d pi by dt, d theta by dt, where theta or pi is the angle. So derivative of angle, derivative of phase is actually angular frequency, and that angular frequency gives you 2 pi f. F is the normal frequency. So you can understand that the normal frequency is 1 by 2 pi multiplied by derivative of angle, and therefore the relation is like this. All right. And therefore, the angle modulation is the modulation in which, let's define formally, the phase or frequency of the carrier signal, either phase or frequency of the carrier signal changes in accordance to or with respect to message or transmitting signal. That includes both frequency modulation and phase modulation. So phase as well as frequency modulations, both are parts of angle modulation. Angle modulation includes FM as well as PM. In FM, frequency of carrier changes, as we have seen in the previous slides. Frequency of carrier changes according to instantaneous value of message signal, whereas in PM, phase of carrier changes according to instantaneous value of message signal, rather according to message signal, because as I told you, there is a boundary line, there is thin line which separates phase and frequency modulation. When the responses to responses directly to instantaneous value, it's actually frequency modulation. When the response is to derivative of the modulating signal, it's probably the phase modulated waveform. So there is thin line between the phase modulation and frequency modulation. So this is, you know, the one more waveform for frequency modulation. Look at here, the maximum modulating signal amplitude is AM. So wherever it is becoming maximum, look at here, the frequency has become maximum. The separation has become very less here, least here, minimum here. Time duration has become minimum, so the frequency has increased. The frequency has become maximum. Where you look at here, at this point where I am pointing a pointer, here the amplitude of modulating signal is minimum. So look at here, the separation is largest. The time duration is largest, and therefore the frequency has become minimum. So let's talk some mathematics about this. Suppose we denote message signal as MT, AM cos 2 pi FMT. AM is the amplitude of modulating signal, FM is the frequency of modulating signal. We can also write in place of 2 pi FMT, omega MT. Omega M is the angular frequency of modulating signal. We also call modulating signal as message or transmitting signal. Let's denote carrier by CT, which is written as AC cosine of 2 pi FCT. Similarly, FC is the carrier frequency and AC is the amplitude of carrier signal. So what is the expression of FM signal? Can you see here? FM signal is written as AF cosine of 2 pi FCT plus M sine 2 pi FMT, where AF is the amplitude, of course. This is actually the FM signal. We know that in FM, the amplitude of carrier remains same and the frequency only changes. So we can write this AF as AC actually. But sometimes there may be some amplitude variation. In subsequent lectures, we'll discuss that factor. But almost ideally, it must be AC only, because we know that the amplitude of carrier signal is not changing. But yes, if there is any signal strength being affected over the transmission channel, over the medium, then AF may be slightly different than AC. Otherwise, that's carrier amplitude. Now, what is important that we can see here, see the original carrier angle omega t is angle, that is theta, is 2 pi fct. Is the angle changing? Yes. See here. Actually, the angle is changing by how much? The angle is changing by m sine 2 pi fmt. So what is happening actually? Actually, the modulating signal is am cosine 2 pi fmt. And as we have seen in the previous diagram, the carrier frequency changes, and change is proportional to instantaneous value of modulating signal. So we can say that the change in frequency will be directly proportional to am cosine of 2 pi fmt. But what we have written here, am of sine 2 pi fmt. Why? It is because it's a derivative term here. When we differentiate this term, it will become sine of 2 pi fmt multiplied by am into 2 pi fm. And when you simplify that, it becomes actually m. We will discuss about m. That constant factor is the modulation index. And this cosine 2 pi fmt, its derivative has become sine 2 pi fmt. So, and what is changing now? You see here the phase of the carrier is changing. So in one way we can understand the phase of carrier changes in accordance with the derivative of modulating signal. All right, now look at here. We'll analyze later mathematically. And according to the modulation index, as we have seen here, m is the small m is modulation index. We know in amplitude modulation, modulation index is supposed to be always less than 1. Otherwise, over modulation creates difficulties like distortion, crosstalk in telephone, etc. But in frequency modulation, m is very high. So depending upon the values of m, there are two types of FM. One, narrowband FM. Second, wideband FM. As its name suggests, narrow band. Narrow means narrow. So bandwidth is narrow means we have also seen, that if the bandwidth is more, the bandwidth is not correlated in amplitude modulation with modulation index, but here it is. More is the modulation index, more is the bandwidth. It clearly means that in narrow band frequency modulation, the modulation index is small. Whereas in wideband frequency modulation, WBFM, it's large. It's of course greater than 1, and it is much larger than 1. So generally narrowband FM is used in ambulances, walkie-talkie, taxi cabs, where in some local applications where FM transmission, FM reception, FM radio setup for these type of applications like ambulances, walkie-talkie, maybe in police department, the taxi cab drivers in the taxis for communicating to the different network, to the network of all the taxis and the service provider. This narrow band FM can be used because large amount of bandwidth is not needed to operate a number of ambulances in a certain region. Smaller bandwidth is enough to provide or to accommodate all those ambulances. But when we talk about the bigger applications like TV is not intended to be served in certain specific region. TV transmission is broadcast in large geographical area, in bigger area. So therefore, we need more bandwidth. FM radio doesn't cater a small town or a city. FM radio caters even larger than a metropolitan city. It can cater. So the modulation index is less, bandwidth is less, narrow band frequency modulation. Where it is used in some local applications related to ambulances, taxi cab, walkie-talkie, and WBFM is used in FM radio, television, broadcast applications where bandwidth and modulation index both are large. Narrowband FM bandwidth is small, modulation index is small, and the spectrum consists of carrier, upper sideband and lower sideband. See, in the narrowband frequency modulation, actually the modulation index is generally lesser than 1. Why? Think about amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulation has only 2 sidebands, and the modulation index is very less. It's always less than 1. Ideally, it will be 1. I mean, 100% modulation is not considered as good modulation. There is still maybe difficulty. So when it is less than 1 or less than 100% modulation index value, then there will be only 2 sidebands. Or at any value, there will be 2 sidebands. So sometimes this narrowband frequency modulation is called as compatible AM signal. FM and AM cannot be compared, but it is called as compatible AM signal. Compatibility here is defined in terms of 2 attributes. 1, modulation index is small in both. The number of sidebands is only 2 in AM as well as NBM. It is used in mobile communication such as police department wireless communication, taxi cab, ambulances. Wideband larger infinite bandwidth, ideally infinite bandwidth, but it cannot be realized. So what we do, what we have is large amount of bandwidth in FM. Large modulation index, bigger value of modulation index, and therefore large amount of large value of bandwidth. And this is why the spectrum will also have carrier. In narrowband FM, carrier and only 2 sidebands, and WBFM carrier and huge number of, ideally infinite number of sidebands. So you can imagine infinite number of sidebands. Sidebands means infinite bandwidth. Infinite bandwidth is not achievable, not realized, and therefore we can say large number of sidebands and huge amount of bandwidth. And therefore it is used in entertainment industry, broadcasting industry related applications such as FM radio, TV, or these type of entertainment industry it is used. This is one comparison of WBFM and NBFM. In WBFM, you can see the modulation index is greater than 10, even greater than 1 can be considered, but greater than 10 or even much larger is the WBFM. Less than 1 is NBFM. Frequency deviation, maximum frequency deviation. See, what we are talking about in frequency modulation, the frequency of carrier changes. How much change? How much is the maximum change? Is the maximum frequency deviation. Now, we may think that the maximum frequency deviation may be hundreds of kilohertz. No, that much variation is not allowed. That much variation is not done. So, how much maximum variation is allowed in the WBFM? 75 kilohertz, whereas in NBFM it's hardly 5 kilohertz. Modulation frequency in NBFM 3 kilohertz. Like, see, when I talked about walkie-talkie, taxi cab, and ambulances, it means our voice communication is involved. And when we are discussing about or talking about voice communication, the maximum modulation signal frequency or message signal frequency is 3 kilohertz. The telephonic line frequency is 3 kilohertz only. And here it may be from 30 hertz to 15 kilohertz. This much value is the range of frequency in the case of WBFM. Spectrum, almost we have infinite number of spectrum, but here only 2 sidebands, so we don't have infinite number of sidebands. So 2 sidebands in carrier, here infinite number of sidebands in carrier. And the bandwidth, how do you calculate? 2 FM. If you remember AM, therefore I mentioned NBFM is also called as compatible AM because its bandwidth is also same as AM. 2 FM, where FM is the maximum modulating frequency, maximum frequency of message signal. Here 15 times of NBFM and even larger. 15 times is one example. But how do we actually calculate? We will see since we are talking about the bandwidth calculation, the number of sidebands. If the number of sidebands is infinite in FM, remember, there is a question. How will we calculate the bandwidth? We cannot reach to the infinite band. So how to estimate the total bandwidth occupied by FM signal? So there is one theory, Carson's rule. Carson suggested some empirical and statistical way of calculating the bandwidth, and then expression was suggested that depends on modulation index. We will see later. Noise, more noise suppressing capability is there in WBFM, and that capability is less in NBFM. Entertainment and broadcasting, I have already mentioned in previous slide, whereas NBFM, mobile communication, something which is moving like taxi cab, ambulances, where in those type of local or regional areas, communications, small range communications, in mobile communication it is used. FM is the frequency of, therefore, what we can say, frequency of modulated signal increases if the amplitude of modulating signal increases. We have already seen, and frequency of modulated signal decreases when the amplitude of modulating signal decreases. The frequency of modulated signal remains constant. Frequency of modulated signal remains constant and equal to frequency of carrier signal when the amplitude of modulating signal is 0. It means when the amplitude of modulating signal does not change, so frequency of modulated signal, what we are calling as FM signal, the frequency of FM signal or frequency of modulated carrier signal will not be affected, will not change, will remain constant, will remain a frequency of unmodulated carrier when there is no change in the amplitude or instantaneous value of the modulating signal. So what is needed is the modulating signal amplitude must change. All right, so yes. So with the increase in the amplitude of modulating signal, carrier frequency also increases, and accordingly, similarly, when there is decrease in the amplitude of modulating signal, there will be decrease in the frequency of carrier signal. All right. So carrier frequency, say it's FC, and suppose the maximum deviation is del F. So your carrier frequency may have two values, a range of values beginning from FC minus del F to FC plus del F. Minimum possible value of carrier frequency will be FC minus del F. Maximum possible value will be FC plus del F, where del F is the maximum frequency deviation. When will maximum frequency deviation occur? When there is maximum change, in the amplitude of modulating signal, message signal. So the difference between, how do you calculate the deviation? The difference between the carrier frequency when the carrier is unmodulated and the frequency when the carrier is modulated. So modulated carrier, unmodulated carrier, the difference between the two frequencies is called as frequency deviation, and that frequency deviation is del F. Now, as we are talking about angle modulation, so phase modulation also plays important role, where the phase of carrier also changes according to message signal. The amplitude and frequency of carrier will remain changed. Rather, in fact, carrier changes, but phase will mainly change, and where the phase of carrier changes. You see here, we have already seen in the previous slide that when you can see there are maximum possible changes here. So maximum possible. So what you can see that the frequency will, because we have seen that when there is change in frequency, phase will change or vice versa. But there is change in phase also, phase delay will also be there. So this is the output of PM signal, that is phase modulated signal. The instantaneous amplitude of modulating signal changes the phase of the carrier. When the phase of carrier or when the instantaneous value of modulating signal changes, the phase will change. When the amplitude is positive, the phase changes in one direction. If the amplitude is negative, that was highlighted here. When it is positive, the phase changes in one direction, and when it is negative, it changes in opposite direction. The change in phase changes the frequency of modulated wave and vice versa. Because we know that when phase changes, obviously the frequency of the modulated wave changes. So phase modulation is actually an indirect method of producing FM. When you apply phase modulated and then you pass through, uh, that's what we have seen in the previous expression. That actually angle is changing, and then indirectly we are having the expression of frequency modulation. We will do the mathematical analysis in the subsequent lecture. So amount of frequency change produced by phase modulator increases with the modulating frequency. It's not modulating frequency, it will be modulating signal voltage. The PM is used in mobile communication, while FM is used mainly for FM broadcast. Phase modulated or phase modulation used for mobile communication, whereas for FM broadcasting related communication, where good quality of voice, good quality of music is intended to be delivered, intended to be broadcast, there we go for that FM. So this is some more mathematics about the angle modulation. Let us say the expression of carrier is A cosine of omega ct plus phi t, when phi t is the change in the angle. See, the original signal is A cos theta t. This is the original carrier, and the angle is not changing by phi t. So what is actually theta t here? Theta t is the phase which is function of mt. We know that because this entire expression is depending on mt. So theta t can be written as omega ct plus phi t. How do we determine frequency from angle? We can differentiate, so it becomes omega c plus d by dt of phi t. So you can understand when you take omega c in this direction, it becomes in this side, it becomes omega I minus omega c. That is change in frequency. So change in frequency is actually, you can look at here, depending on derivative of phase. So you can understand when there is a derivative of phase, and indirectly we are getting the change in frequency also. Actually, this is the relation actually, right? I was telling you that we do phase modulation and indirectly we get FM signal. So the modulating signal is integrated. It is passed through integrator, and then it is phase modulated. When we are talking about phase modulation means we will apply carrier signal, and look at here, the carrier signal means this theta is changed by some angle, and that change in angle will be proportional to this integrated value of modulating signal, that is your FM. Whereas the when we discuss, when we explain in opposite way, when the modulating signal is sent to differentiator and then it is frequency modulated by the same carrier signal, we get PM, that is phase modulated signal. So there is a relationship between frequency modulation and the phase modulation. When the modulating signal is integrated passed to PM, we get FM signal. When the modulating signal is differentiated, it is passed to differentiator, and then frequency modulated, we'll get PM. If you see here, phase modulated, the derivative of phase modulated, the concept is like this. See here, phase modulated, right? And here, the modulating signal is sent to differentiator. Frequency modulated, we get PM signal. We actually get PM signal, that is the angle is changing. All right. So in when we go in detailed analysis of these block diagrams, so sometimes it's also interpreted as a low pass filter. I mean, there is no need of explaining that why integrator or why differentiator are needed. Integrator is actually acting as a low pass filter. So we pass the modulating signal to a low pass filter so that we can choose our correct band of frequency, correct message signal can be passed through low pass filter so that there is no other component which is mixed with the message signal. And then angle changes. An angle change is proportional to instantaneous value of modulating signal. We get FM, and here we get, in an opposite manner, if we do, we get PM signal. So this is a comparison of PM and FM. So let's summarize this lecture. This lecture is about angle modulation. We know that angle modulation is a process in which angle of carrier changes according to an instantaneous value of modulating signal. But when we write actually the carrier signal, when we write carrier signal as AC cosine angle, cosine omega ct or cosine theta. So you can say theta or you can say omega ct. And when that theta component is changing, omega ct plus something. So that change is proportional to instantaneous value of modulating signal, that is message signal. But there is slight difference between the phase modulator and frequency modulator, or phase modulation and frequency modulation, when actually the modulating signal is integrated and then it is phase modulated, we get FM, and when in opposite manner, when the modulating signal is differentiated pass through FM, we get PM signal. So because see, the relation between PM or relation between angle and frequency is the relation between these two block diagrams, that we know that omega is d phi by dt. So the same relationship will be there in the expressions of FM and PM. So both the modulation methods are very important used in FM communication. PM is preferably used in FM mobile communication, whereas FM is used in the FM radio and television and other that type of FM broadcast system. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you.